Hi guys, welcome to Real News Live. It's a free reading Friday. I'm your host, Mike Barra in Seattle, Washington, and that lovely lady with the lustrous hair down there is Jennifer Falah Doring in Hayden, Idaho. Jen, how are you doing today?
Good. Doing good.
Okay, well, I think the thing that's on everybody's mind is the financial reset and what's going on with that. And it's actually hard to sort out what's going on. It is really interesting because your Gentel said, if I go back and read it, your Gentel said rates or news of rates will fluctuate over the coming few days. That would be from Monday to Friday. Like a stock chasing closing for the day. Most rates are set, but but can be adjusted. We will be pleasantly surprised by the Zim, and I saw diamonds. So that, Jen, was very interesting to me. And that's exactly what's been going on. And today, Nader from the Middle East, too. By the way, Nader knows a few people, but mostly he's experiencing things from the street level and what the scuttlebutt is at the street level in Iraq. So we're going to play Nader's video from this morning. And again, everybody keep track of it because I'm not exactly sure. He says two things here that are kind of contradictory, I think. Let's listen to Nader.
You're wrong. I'm gonna get you wrong, Pimpy, because things are doing a lot better in Iraq. I promise you, things are doing a lot better in Iraq. And if you talk about the private sector, look at it now. Look at it. I mean, a year ago, look at it now. It's gone 60-70% better. And it's true, Pimpy. The real value of the Iraqi dinar is not a fucking 1460. It's not 1160. It's 328, not 48. 48. That's the true Iraqi dinar. That's the true value. For now, the rate, it's it's a punishment. You know better than me. It's a big punishment. You know that. In the whole Middle East, besides Iran, and besides the other country who just bankrupt themselves. If you take Saudis, if you take the Kuwaitis, if you take the Oman, if you take any other countries, their dinar or dirham or rial, some of them are not stronger, but some of them are half a dollar. So Iraq, with all the assets we have and all the richness we have, that's not the true rate of our dinars. Wait, we're gonna kick your ass. We're gonna kick your ass on the rate. We're gonna kick your ass. You see. Just be patient. And if I'm saying it with a smile and everything, because I know something. Love you all, and see you later.
Okay, so what he said there was, I know something you don't know, which is interesting. And here's what I heard that he said, and we'll have to sort of see what the chat whether they agree with it. What he said is the real rate of the Iraqi dinar is not 1,460 dinars to the dollar. It's not 1,140. It's not 1,140 dinars to the dollar. Those are the artificial program rate range that they've been in for the last 20 years almost. He said it's 328, not 348 like I told you the other day, not 48, 328. And that's what he's saying is the street rate in Iraq. And he said, look at the other Middle Eastern countries, and it's right in line with the other Middle Eastern countries that have all this oil. He said, except for the country that just bankrupted themselves. And that, I believe he's talking about Lebanon there, who basically said they're going to devalue their currency by 90%. Now, the purpose of that is to collapse and destroy their own fiat currency and force them into an asset-backed or gold-backed currency. Because right now, everybody talks about the gold standard. Well, for the countries that don't have a lot of gold, but they have a shit ton of oil, guess what? They're going to say, we're not going to tie our currency to gold. which doesn't change. We're going to tie it to oil, which does fluctuate, but we're going to tie it to oil. And that's what I think he's saying there. And then he said, we're going to kick your ass. And what he means is that the value of the Iraqi dinar is going to be far greater than the value of the US dollar, at least for a period of time, because eventually the goal is for parity pretty much worldwide.
Okay, that's what's been going through my head this morning. I'm ignorant on the whole thing, but this is my thoughts. So if we're all, eventually the goal is to go 1-to-1. Okay?
2, 3, 5 years from now, yeah.
Okay.
Not right away with the RV, but after the RV.
Well, the dollar has to be at its value now in order, when these other ones revalue, in order to make money, right?
Right. To create money.
So if the goal is for everything to go 1-to-1, and the dinar is the leader of this, and then we've got the dong.
The Zim is actually probably going to be...
What? Well, the Zim's a bond, so that's different. Okay? With currency, right?
No, the Zim's a bond. It's different. You're just like, you're on top of this thing now. It's so cute.
Yeah, I'm on a roll here. So like,
got it all figured out now. So I'm like, oh,
I'm
you're
playing.
right.
If this is true, that's true. Maybe we can get to what they're going to do with the rate. Is my point here. But I could be completely wrong, and this could be nothing. So if our goal is to eventually go 1-to-1.
Right.
What would the dinar have to revalue to right now to be 1-to-1?
Well, to make up for all the, it depends. Right now is right now. But if you're talking about how about making up for all the wealth that's been lost in the last 20 years? Well, I don't know, Jen. I think it would have to be.
What I'm thinking here is that the dollar stays where it's at, and that they revalue these other currencies, and then the dollar comes up to meet it 1-to-1. So if we could figure out what they have to be at for that to happen,
16.
like what would the value of the dollar be in notes? So when it changes over to notes, it probably goes 1-to-1. That's why we do the RV first. And so if all these other currencies have to get up to that place and be ready for that, then all we have is change the dollar over to note, and then it's up to 1-to-1, right? Is that wrong?
No, I don't think that's necessarily incorrect.
So if we could do calculations to figure out where that has to be.
Well, okay, so what he's saying is, let's just take 328. Okay. Let's take that let's take his word at face value. And what he's talking about when he says that is that's the in-country rate value, because he said, look at the conditions in our country. Look at how much we can buy. Look at everything. We're doing better than we were a year ago. So let's take that 328. And that's against the current US dollar. And you factor in 20 years of being a fraction of a dollar. Let's just take 328 times 4. And that's 1312. 328 times 5 is $16.40. Jen, what was the rate that they told you? Your children
16.
Yeah. So I think that it's a factor of 5, and that's based on how the value of the dinar has been suppressed since the war. That's what I think is going on. So the US dollar is going to have to come up to that $16 value, which what would the US dollar, here's the thing we don't know. We don't know what would the value of the US dollar be today if it was gold backed versus fiat currency. I don't know how to figure that out. I'll ask Mark Z, because Mark Z knows all this. What would it be? And I'm guessing it's going to be about $16.
And that's why my question always was, well, why is the dinar so important? Why are they the leaders? Why is Iraq the leader of this? And so I'm thinking maybe that's our what we can look at to calculate this. So like if they go to 16,
right,
and then we have a period of time everybody cashes in. Okay, everybody else comes up at their rates too. I'm most excited about the dong. I always have been. So then, let's say we've got $1 now in the fiat money worth. $1 is really not, but let's just say that. And we take it to gold. Could it, in fact, be 1 fiat dollar is worth 16 fiat dollars is worth 1 U.S. gold-backed note?
No. Yes. 16, yes.
And then with the dong, if they went up to, their new rate is per dong is $4.25. So it's not going to be. So I don't even know. I'm not even knowledgeable enough to figure this out. But this, you see where I'm getting with this? Is that if we did the calculation, somebody who's more knowledgeable, like that, I don't know, the broker, could do that. Maybe you could talk to him later.
The broker may be listening. He frequently does. Christopher Iverson says 16-1.
Well,
I just asked Mark.
Knowledgeable too, and so I think
I just text Mark Z. Let's see what Mark says. So what we're talking about is the current U.S. greenback. If it was gold backed, what would it be worth in current fiat dollars? What would
right? And so if that's the goal, to actually this was coming to me, but I'm not knowledgeable enough to figure this out. All right, so it was like. It just kept coming to me this morning, like 1-to-1, 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 1-to-1. And it's not that we're going 1-to-1 right away, but the other countries are setting up for when they do. And if Iraq is first and they're the leaders, then I think that's the currency that we could gauge this on. And, if we could calculate, okay, so if you take US dollar now and we go gold back, what would it actually be worth? So if you got $100,000 of fiat money in your bank, how much would you actually have in there?
Now, wait a minute, Jen. The value of the dinar before the war was $3.22, not $3.28. $3.22 against the U.S. dollar. If you multiply that times 5, it's 16.1. So it's even closer to the $16 that you got from, who was it, Michael or Gabriel that told you? Your
Gabriel, and an interesting thing about that 16 number was that I was asking, at the time I had 250, I don't even care, I had 250,000 dinar. And so it was like, so I were to take my 250,000 dinar, and when I exchange it, how much money would I have? He said $4 million. So then I did the math, it came up to 16.
16. And 16 is the number that Dr. Sinan al-Shabibi, who was the original architect of the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar back in 2003, said in 2009 that that's what the dinar can support, is a rate of 16 to 1 to the US dollar, which I don't think is a coincidence.
16 to 1.
$16.
That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. So then we can calculate that. If we could take each currency and kind of figure that out, we could kind of figure out
what they're going to come
in. The rate's going to be.
It's pretty clever.
Well, it didn't come from me because I don't know anything about this stuff. I was just running around the house doing my thing this morning.
Wait a minute, the Zim is a bond. The Zim's a bond. It's not a currency. I just stop that, Mike.
I don't appreciate the voice. All right, I don't appreciate that.
I'm trying to do a girl voice. Girly voice.
Okay, it does. Yeah. Don't give me the Mel K voice. Although I love her. I think she's great.
Mel K voice.
It is funny. It is funny. Yeah. So, just so you guys could go back, anybody's more knowledgeable about all these currencies and finances and rates and everything else could sit back and possibly think. Now we go from, and I don't know why, but you calculate that for the dinar. Then you go over to the dong. I don't know why the dong is next, but I think it is. Stands next to dinar somehow. So now figure that one out. Do we get to 4.29? And if it does, I want tips. Okay, I'm probably gonna be okay. Tell you what, but
say that again.
I want
one?
flowers. I want gifts if my rates
No,
are right.
What was the rate? I was busy trying to manage.
4.29 for dog.
4.29 for the. Oh
That's
yeah,
what I got.
Then even 0.429 is going to be enough for people to retire on if you have a lot of dong, and I have a bit of dong. So yeah, even $4.29. Robert Charles M coming with the wrench. Just so anybody who might be watching and trolling knows, we never saw whatever trolling you did never got here. It never got off the YouTube channels, and it's all going to be deleted. So nobody will ever see it.
I think someone's impersonating a Slacker wannabe. Because I just saw Slacker wannabe say boring, and I don't think they'd say that. I know that person.
It doesn't matter because the troll in question over there, nobody's seeing you. Nobody. It's not coming up on our chat here. I'm not seeing it. I'm not over on the YouTube channel. And that YouTube video is going to be deleted in less than an hour. So nobody's going to see it. So you're not getting away with anything. You're not doing anything.
We're a tight-knit group here. Nobody agrees with you. Okay? We're all buddies. Okay? You're not getting through.
Okay. Mark answered me. Mark, if the dollar was gold-backed, what would it be worth value-wise against the current fiat dollar? I'm on the air trying to figure it out. We assume the same thing because it's being used as the measuring stick. Okay, so he's saying it would be worth $1. But I don't think he's quite grasping my question.
Ask him about 16 to 1. Because that's what 16 to 1.
Okay.
So if, let's say, you had 16 fiat dollars, you would have 1 gold-backed dollar. And if something that would cost you 16 fiat dollars would cost you 1 gold-backed dollar.
Okay, 1 fiat US dollar.
Okay, Slacker wannabe.
Right.
Don't know what's up with that. I guess she did say it. Whatever. But yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Chris is knowledgeable. He says, yeah. Correct.
Okay. I'm trying to get Mark to answer my question because Mark's thinking after the reset and after we have a gold-backed dollar. Yeah, it's all going to be 1-to-1. It's not going to be worth the same. I don't know. I'm trying to compare the oil-backed.
It's kind of hard to put it into a question because it's like, okay, so what would our question be? So let's say, so eventually we're all going 1-to-1. Iraq is the leader.
Right.
They're the benchmark. They go first. Or, we're watching them. So they know eventually we're going to go 1-to-1. And so they have to get to a rate that will stand 1-to-1 with the US dollar when the US dollar goes to gold. Right? And so 3.28 or 3.40 something is not going to cut it. Because they don't want to have to do this again. So it's going to have to be high.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have to be high and stay there so that when the US dollar goes to gold, it doesn't outshine them again, right?
Right.
Right. So I say 16.
Well, the dinar is going to be like the baseline for the Middle East. The US dollar is going to be the baseline for North America. The Chinese yuan is going to be the baseline for Asia. Probably the Indonesian rupiah is going to be the baseline for Pacifica, that kind of thing. It's a little bit confusing. I asked Mark to come on. We'll see if he has time.
So we're talking about the meantime. In the meantime, before we go 1-to-1, Iraq is trying to set it up so that they will be at 1-to-1 and not below the US dollar. And so in order to do that, they're going to tell everybody, oh, yeah, we're going to be lower, we're going to be this, we're going to be that. Great. I doubt anybody's really getting good information on that unless they're cashing in. But I think that they have to come up pretty high. And the other places are going to have to come up pretty high in order for everybody to go 1-to-1. And that's why the US dollar hasn't done it yet. Because everybody else has to get theirs done. So that when we do, we're all on an even playing field. So that makes me think that the dinar should go to 16. I don't know anything about these things, but I'm sticking with it.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Let's just see if we can get Mark to come in. I'm going to send him a show link and see if he'll just drop on in. You never know. He might surprise us. But I think Mark's thinking gold-backed dollar. So,
but he can't tell us. I could give him my thoughts, but he can't tell us a lot.
No, I know he can't. Oh, maybe he can't. Maybe he's under an NDA. Oh, no, I'll tell you what he can do is he can comment on your thesis.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's go quickly to the people out there and just see what they want to talk about. And get to that while we wait, just in case Mark. We don't have any more information, right? I mean, we're still on the precipice of this thing. There is a lot of discussion. Mark and others are reporting that Iraq asked for 6 more months to do their reset, and the U.S. told them no. You reported it's exactly the opposite, that the U.S. is trying to bribe Iraq into waiting 6 more months, and Iraq told them to go chase a rolling donut. We're going right now. So
yeah, who likes to wait 6 months? That would be us.
Yeah, not us. Yeah,
and then we've got like stories of balloons and things from other countries over our soil.
Okay, Mark's got tied up for about 15 minutes. Okay, so great. So we're going to come back to that. Mark's going to join us maybe in about 15 minutes. All right, let's go to the readings and stuff. I asked Candace about the Chinese balloon flying over Montana. I will do that tonight. Hello to the best of the truth news. Thank you. Kathleen, a lot of just, I know it's not likely for anyone anymore to wake up, but will my lifetime friend Manny wake up? He's still cheering on the corruption. Will Karen's friend Manny ever wake up? Or is he going to just stay in the...
Well, he's going to be forced to eventually, but he's never going to admit that he was wrong. He's going to fight it, and it's not going to make any sense later. He's just like, really? That makes no sense. You just don't want to be wrong. Man, he's got a problem being wrong.
What's going to happen to those people? Are they just going to be lost? I mean, we're just going to lose them, and just for their generation's just going to die, and we're not ever going to...
Well, a lot of them are going to be very angry. They're going to be very angry.
Connie Anderson says, hi, Mike and Jen. Jen, do you see us having to temporarily relocate in the near future? That's Connie. I assume by us, she means her and her husband.
No, it's going to work out.
Cool. Jen, I was quite nervous and awestruck at my reading I had with you, and I forgot to ask if you see us purchasing a vacation home somewhere by a lake, maybe in Florida or Alaska. That's kind of a contrast in climates, Florida or Alaska. You must really like a lake. Yeah. What's your choice? One with Nessie or one with alligators? Take your pick. Do you see
vacation home? I don't usually. Sometimes I'll comment on the location that I see, but I don't make that decision for you. Yeah. You are going to go in. It looks small. It looks almost like a condo or something that's not a lot to take care of. Not seeing Alaska. I'm going to tell you that. I don't see cold. I see warm.
Okay. Kim Coatney says, I have a pain in the right side of my face. I'm able to manage with compresses and ibuprofen, but is it an ear thing or a tooth thing?
Well, it's two things. Okay? It's your neck coming around the front, and it's also, I feel like that you're putting the compresses on the wrong spot. So put heat on your neck, try to get that thing to pop. And also, I do think that one ear way in there, we've got some congestion and possibly an ear infection brewing.
Chris Iverson says, watch the Boulevard. Yes. Go order some CBD Gurus products.
I did last night. I
get
got like 5.
It can't hurt.
Oils.
You know, even if what if it's worth $300,000 or something? You know, go buy a house. Buy a house in
CBD,
Alaska.
guys, I don't know if I bought enough pet oil to get some more Boulevard, but you could like send me some. That'd be cool.
Yeah, just buy 3 of them.
How much are you supposed to order to get? I spent like $89.
$25 gets you 1 million Boulevard. But you know, knowing what good guys Luke and Matt are, they just throw some in anyway. They got lots.
Yeah.
If the Dawn goes to $4, then I'm retiring. Good for you. Good for you. Deborah
I also
says
bought more Dong last night. I hope it gets here in time.
She has 1.6 million Dong. Well, what's your feeling? I mean, can we ask? I think the last thing Gabriel said was, you know, it's going to happen soon. Wait till you see what happens. But he did kind of say today, wasn't today his target day for his newest target day for something to be announced?
It looked like the end. It looked like the end of the week, and so I said Thursday.
All right. Okay, Thursday.
Everybody was saying Tuesday. I said it looks more like Thursday.
Okay, and now we're on Friday.
What the hell? There's a Thursday every week, so what do I know? We'll see. We will see.
Mark is too far out. Yes, eventually 1-1. Okay. Well, yeah, we all know that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in the meantime, in this transition period, in this redemption period, then the dollar comes up and meets everything.
Mike MC thinks you're on target with your analysis. It won't start at 16. It will float up to there. Yeah, that's what we believe. Yeah.
And what did we get on sucker rate or sleight of hand rate? When you exchange, it will be good on the screen. The real deal is Iraq wants to duh, it's right there. I said it before. The real deal is Iraq wants to revalue so high that the dollar can't sink it or outshine it. We said that on Monday. So you don't have these notes. I wrote more notes of what we said on Monday.
Sink it or outshine it.
So if Iraq evalues and wants to be more than the U.S. dollar, and then the U.S. dollar comes up, if they do it too low, they're going to have the same problem again. Then the dollar reigns supreme again. So what they want is to eliminate that.
If they do it too low, the fiat dollar can be boosted up some different ways to match it. Whereas if it comes out really high, they have to go to a gold-backed dollar to match it.
There you go. There's a very important. Don't forget that part if Mark comes on here, because I will. So here we go. This is what we got from Monday about all of this. First of all, what we're seeing now, tug war is false in an attempt to pull the remaining actors out. I will talk about that more when we talk about the balloon. Rates or news of rates will fluctuate over the coming few days. This week, like a stock fluctuating and then closing for the day. And then we get our rate. So if that's happening the next few days, we must get it at the end of the week. Let's hope for that. Most are set as of now, but can be adjusted, can slide. We'll be pleasantly surprised with the dong rate will slide. And when I say slide, I don't mean down. I mean across. So what we hear about that, they're going to adjust it. They're going to adjust it according to what Iraq does. That's why they're standing next to him. That's why they're next. That's why everybody's talked about the dinar first, and then they talk about the dong. So the dong is watching the dinar. The dinar has to come up high enough so that the fiat dollar cannot come up to it and outshine it again, and they have the same problem. They got to come up here so that the U.S. dollar then has to come up as gold and match it.
Didn't Nader just say, we are going to outshine you? Isn't that what he said?
Did he shut up?
Let's go listen.
Shut
up. Well, it might
be wrong. I'm gonna get you wrong, Pimpy, because things are doing a lot better. if you take the Oman, if you take any other countries, their dinar or dirham or rial, some of them are not stronger, but some of them are half a dollar, half. So Iraq, with all the assets we have and all the richness we have, that's not the true rate of our dinars. Wait, we're gonna kick your ass.
We're gonna kick your ass.
We're gonna kick your ass on the rate. We're gonna kick your ass. You see. Just be patient. And if I'm saying it with a smile and everything, because I know something. Love you all, and see you later, guys.
Okay.
It's gonna be
We're gonna
high.
kick your ass on the rates. Okay. That's interesting. That's a new theory that Jen you came up with. Jen, did Phil get a heads up from his source that something was imminent and then stage his Telegram temper tantrum to make people believe he actually caused the coming action to occur? Good question.
I do believe he has an important role in this, and I always have, and I've stuck to that. I do believe that what you think he's doing for them, he is. I think there's a lot of ego there, okay?
Yeah.
But you don't come out and say those things and know they're watching if you don't have leverage, okay? So for him to think that I've done it all and I'm saving everyone, that's kind of like a, that's okay.
Savior of the world is not going to be Phil Godlowski, but still.
Well,
I think you need to
he
call
does have a part. I don't know what to say. I mean, as far as how important somebody feels and how big their part is, and he has said that he is not the commander. He is not the, you know, he does have a part, and I think he's got leverage. And I think when he comes out to do that, he is very frustrated, and so whatever he knows or whatever he's got, don't want him to click a button and release it or something. So there is truth there. There is truth there, but I kid around about it like Phil saving the world. All right, Phil. But he's told you all along, I don't have any control over this. So I think that he tries to push it along with whatever club he has or whatever leverage he has.
Right.
And
better call your 11 o'clock reading and tell him to put it off by 15 minutes.
Yeah, can't do that.
When do you think about the balloon, Jen? The Chinese balloon.
I'm trying to get who put it up there. I think it was the Biden administration. But if the Biden administration is controlled by the White Hats and following a script, but there are others that believe that they are somehow in control, let's say the remaining cabal, we have to create a scenario to pull him out, and it has to be big. Okay? Because otherwise we have to go through this long process of investigations and trials, and years later, whatever, we got to stay in the whole time. We got to have something to cut the cord now. And so what I told you a long time ago is that Biden will be removed for trying to start a world war, or when he tries to start a world war. Now, they're going to start foreshadowing. They're going to start putting things up like, oh, we're China is spying us. Well, duh. China's been spying on us in every way possible. So what, they got to throw a balloon up? They got to throw. Yeah. That's how they're doing it, right? With a balloon in today's age. So I pretty much think that it was put up there so that the average person, you know, grandpa sitting at home watching Fox News is like, oh my God, they're on our soil with spying on us. You know, so that the public, the normies, can say, oh, well, yes, they're about to attack us. They're trying to start a world war.
Well,
and then Biden is like, yes, let's start a world war.
The complete incompetence of the Biden administration also. That's another thing.
So in an attempt, or a perceived attempt, to stop this financial thing, or to pull him out of office. So everything is lining up to click that domino for everything to fall down. And I think that's part of it. So, yeah. And then, so like, then we've got to have, so then we're going to get more of this information while this RV process goes. That's why it has to go now. That's why we've never been in this spot. That's why, well, okay, we can't just forget about it. So, well, let's do it later. No, it's the first domino.
Yeah.
It's the one we kick so that the rest of them fall. And so so then we've got the RV, the first domino, and then we've got the, probably Biden could be the second or the third, and then we've got the third or the fourth, we've got the go to gold.
Well, there has to be a visible financial collapse of the fiat system, and they would, if they were smart, they would want all of the RV money to be in place when that happens.
Okay, so we got the first domino is the RV, and then we've got the collapse of the dollar because of the rates that they do, and then so we're talking first three dominoes and then everything else falls into place. So you got the RV, then you got collapse, then you got Biden in trying, let's start a world war because they're attacking us. That's the only reason we have collapse. Then we pull him out. Then we go gold to save everything, and then everything else stops. We get rid of the Fed and the IRS and the FBI and all this other crap, and we go to a completely new system.
Yeah, what did Gabriel say the other day? You're going to be amazed by what you see. Mark's here. Mark Z's here. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Hi, Mark.
I'm good. How are you guys?
How's everything down in? We're great. How's everything down in Puerto Rico today? Sunny and warm, I take it. Or?
Yeah, I think it's only like 82.
Fucking. Oh, I'm sorry. And I say that out loud, guys. If you don't know, this is the original Mark Z, the patron saint of the revaluation currency thing. Okay, so Jen and I, we talk about this. This show was never going to be an RV show. It was all about other stuff, but then the politics and the aliens and the space and the RV all started coming together about 2 years ago, and it's unavoidable now. So it's now become a show that includes the RV on a regular basis. So Jen's been looking at this from a spiritual perspective and, doing what she does, talking to her angels and everything. And occasionally Jesus pops in and has something to say. So she came up with a question today, which is really interesting. Now, she keeps getting a very high rate for the dinar when it comes in. Her information the other day was the rates are going to be all over the place this week, which they have. But when you get into your actual redemption center, which she does see, and I know you have proof there's redemption centers, you're going to be surprised by how good the rates are. And then Nader comes out today and he said on his video, which we played earlier, that the rate's going to be 328 is what he said. That's what I got out of what he said. Not 348, but 328, which is pretty close to the predicted reinstatement value that we've all talked about. Not 11,940, not 1460, yada, yada, yada. And then Jen got a rate months ago without ever hearing the name Sinan al-Shabibi. And it was the same rate that he came up with, which is about $16. Okay. So what we're trying to figure out is, and then also Nader said, we're going to kick your ass on the rates. We're going to kick your ass. Now what Jen came up with, and Jen, I'm going to try to paraphrase this. And then what I get wrong, you can fix with Mark, but what she came up with was, okay, the reason the rate has to get so high, and it may start out lower and float to 16 or whatever, but the reason it has to be high is because she says that in the meeting the other day, that they basically said, we're not going to revalue at a rate that's low enough that you can pump up the fiat dollar and catch up to us and outshine us again. We're going to pump it up so high that the only way the U.S. is going to catch up to parity with us is to go asset-backed or gold-backed. Jen, did I paraphrase that correctly?
Pretty much. So so we've all been watching Iraq, and Iraq is the leader, okay? And so I was always wondering why. I don't know very much about this, so that's why I ran it by everybody here to see if it makes any sense. But lately, so when I originally asked, psychically, in prayer, okay, so let's say I had 250,000 dinar. Now, what would I get when I went to the redemption center and I got $4 million? Well, then I did the math and got 16. So then I came back to Mike and I asked him about it, and I said, well, does that make any sense? And he said,
according to
it does.
It does. Yeah. Okay.
And so I was thinking today, I didn't have time to do any meditations, to go into prayer or anything and get information. What I kept getting was 1-to-1. When they go 1-to-1, think about that. Think about that. So it makes sense that if everybody, and then I saw the Dong standing next to Iraq watching them. And so if everything goes, Iraq needs to revalue high, because their problem is that the dollar is always higher than them and outshines them, and it's a problem. So they have to go up so high that the fiat dollar cannot reach that amount without going gold. So there's a period of time here where the rest of the countries in the world have to get up to the rate they're going to be at when we all eventually go 1-and-1. So in between, I believe that it will go up to a higher rate than what they're saying, because they cannot reach that with the fiat dollar. And if they then you do the revalue. Everybody makes out. We've got money in good hands. We've got money spread around, not all in the hands of governments, but in the hands of people who can do good things with it. Yeah.
Right.
But in the meantime, everybody revalues. Vietnam looks at them and says, okay, we're going to do something comparable, so that then the US dollar goes last. It crashes. We go gold. It comes up and meets everybody pretty much 1-and-1. And we're good. And the rest of the dominoes fall. Does that make sense to you?
Then also the question was then, so if the US dollar, if the fiat dollar and the gold-backed dollar were two different currencies, let's pretend they were two different countries, what would the ratio be today? Would it be like, I don't know, the gold-backed dollar would be 16 and the fiat dollar would be 1? And you're the only person I know of that might be able to.
Right, that's the other part of it. So let's say right now, let's say I had, if I had 16 fiat dollars, how many gold-backed notes would I have? Possibly 1.
In order for it to reach parity when it's time, because it's RV first, reset, and then parity, you're onto something here. It's just the way you're looking at it. It has to adjust for the value for everything to be on parity. The US dollar has been overprinted. It has more value than it's supposed to. So when you say 16-to-1, that's probably accurate. Is that 16-to-1 to the dollar we have now, or where the dollar should be without the manipulation based on assets? So you could be, and then you get parity. They have to correct for that, meaning they would have to correct for like 16, the dinar being worth maybe $16 to 1 US dollar based on the new or where the US dollar should be. So your thinking is not far off. Trying to figure out the best way for that to make sense. When you look at the valuations we have now, they're off because of fiat. They're not based on the amount of assets we have compared to, bills, people, populations. You may be dead on by the time we adjust the US dollar.
Right. So I'm thinking about when the dollar goes to gold. So like if let's say in fiat dollars, if Iraq went to 16 fiat dollars, that rate, and it's high enough so that the fiat dollars cannot go 1-to-1 to that. It can't compete with that. And so when we go gold, that's when it would be the right value to match it. Is that what you're saying?
We're supposed to have revaluations, and then over a course of probably a year and a half or so is when we will move to that 1-to-1 parity, is what I've been told. So what you're thinking may well be pretty solid, because during that move to parity, then we've got to correct again. So I mean, theoretically, you could see 2 value changes.
And what I was seeing from Iraq is that they don't want to have to do this again, and that so if in that time of correction they want to be up high enough so that when the U.S. corrects, yeah,
I mean, you may be onto something there. It would certainly make sense to do it that way, because you're right. I mean, when they do go to parity, then you have to adjust the U.S. dollar down, which doesn't really mean that the dinar's gotten any more valuable. It just means the U.S. dollar is getting its proper valuation. So it would take 16 of them instead of 4 of them, kind of thing.
All right, so all you knowledgeable people take that and run. I just put out the clues, right?
Yeah.
And you guys figure it out. But that's what I got this morning.
And that's actually, if you go back to and some of Shabibi's other stuff, I don't know if it's in that particular video. You've got that link to share if you want it, right?
I don't have the Shabibi video up, but I will go get it.
If not, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I just don't see a mechanism here to drop it into this chat for me.
Private chat? Can you send it to my private chat? Can you private chat?
Let's see.
Lower left text. All right.
Hold on, guys. I'm going to drop that in to make this faster for him.
Yeah. And guys, just to let you know, Dr. Shabibi was the original architect of the Iraqi dinar revaluation concept and said in a public speech that it could handle a rate of something like 16.
Yeah, he justified $14 to $16 easily, he said. And he showed, I mean, he has shown how it would take them about 7 years is all it would take for them to pay off. Just with their oil production assets to pay off the revaluation of that size. I mean, he didn't hide it, that it was greatly reduced. But he did say in a number of things that if we properly valued the US dollars, it would be more like a 16, 14, 16, somewhere in that higher range. So, it's highly possible that you're spot on your thinking.
Now, Mark, are you under any kind of agreements where you can't really talk about this, or you've been discouraged from talking about? I mean, you're on our stream. 5,000 or 6,000 people are going to see you. It's not like a Mark's stream. So, but I forgot. Maybe I shouldn't have surprised you with this. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Oh no, that's okay. No, we can talk about some of those. One, we're talking about the hypotheticals and the mechanics, and it certainly makes sense for it to be as high as she's saying. I can see that. I do. Pressured not to say specifics, and a lot of it is because they don't want to deal with, when they get to a redemption center, but this person said it was going to be 382 and you're only giving me 371 or whatever that is.
Right.
So they're also, because they are trying to use the people throwing out specific dates to values to find out who is leaking, where is their leak. So when they want to find out, they will give a certain person a very specific number and see if they run right out onto the streets and post it.
Yeah. Now, if you want to see the late Dr. Shabibi's video, you can go there and look at it. And I think they are following this pattern. Did you see Nader's video from this morning? Have you seen it yet?
I have not seen it. I've been at a dead run until I joined you, and I've got to dive back into work.
I know you got a lot of stuff to do. Do you want to see it before you go? Do you want to see it before you go? Or?
Sing before I go?
Yeah, it's only a minute and a half long. You want to see it? No,
see it, not
sing.
See it.
Oh, I was like, what?
Yeah, sing a song.
I'll watch it. I'm like,
I'm bad, but I'm not that bad. I mean, all right, Mark, we will let you go. We appreciate your time. I know you got some family coming in today. You have a great Friday night, and we will see you in the morning on his usual podcast over at theoriginalmarkz.com and the Original Mark Z on YouTube. Mark, thanks a lot for helping clarify.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks. Take care.
Love you. Bye. All right. Okay. Well, I think we got overwhelmed on Free Reading Friday because Jen's got to go. She's got a reading right now.
I do, but I have to announce the winners. You can carry on without me. I don't know what else to do, guys, at schedule. But the winners of the healing giveaways, and I lost track of who wants me to say their name and who doesn't. So I would like to thank everybody for their donations so that we can give away free healings to people in need today. And the free healings today are going to, and these are your Telegram screen names. So if you would like to, and there's my reading calling me. If you would like to be considered for a free reading, go and join Philosophy on Telegram and join the chat. Okay, so first person is Fawn Leibowitz. Fawn, Fawn, Liebowitz.
Somebody's a fan of Woody Allen movies.
Sandra Keaton. You have won a free healing. Now, everybody needs to email me. You go to jenniferfallah.com. You can get my email and say I am a winner. And give the date. Christine Hoflich. Hoefich. Hoefich.
Hoefich. Okay.
Montine Willen.
Okay.
Nadine Cornwell. Joel Jackson.
Okay.
Lori Bakemeyer.
Bakemeyer.
Lori. Laurie.
Lori. Okay, you broke up. U-R-I.
Bakemeyer. Bakemeier.
Tyron Shoelace. Somebody suggested the name Tyron Shoelace. I'm going to use that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Angie Daz. D-A-Z.
Probably Angie Lincoln Dasner, I would think. All right.
Alicia Williams. Those are winners this week for our free healing giveaway on Free Reading Friday. You guys, if you got any pressing questions, you can go to Philosophy on Telegram and ask me, and I'll get to them over the weekend. Sorry we took so long on that, but it was on a roll there, just trying to figure out how and why this is happening. And it was wonderful that he came in to join us to tell me if that made any sense.
And it does. It turns out it does make a certain amount of sense. Tonight, guys, on the show, I'm going to be doing with Blake and Brooks and everybody. I'm going to be showing you 3 different designs for T-shirts that we're thinking about trying out at Roswell. Me and Tom Reed. Of course, they're real T-shirts that what's her name? Why do I not remember her name? I'm happy to, anyway. That we were giving away last week. We're going to try to give it away this week. So we're going to do that next week. All right. Thank you, guys. That's going to do it. Thank you for being here. And we appreciate every single one of you. Friday Night Frolics, Friday Night Fun Time. We'll be back then with some more news and information. Jen, thanks for being here. Love you. And we will see you on Monday morning's news update. Let's hope we have a very eventful weekend. I know one of the things Mark reported this morning is that the Redemption Center people are on a very short call, shorter than they were last week. They basically said, be within an hour of your job post. Do not go any further than that. We might call you in immediately. All right, that's where we're at. Love you guys. Talk to you on Monday.